of gifts to the poor. The Rambam starts off like this: Chavim anu leizaher. We are commanded to be very careful. B'mitzvah tzedaka, yoter mikol mitzvot aseh. We have more than any other mitzvah, positive mitzvah from the Torah. Tzedaka siman tzaddik zera Avraham, because giving tzedaka, giving charity, is the sign of belonging to the zera Avraham, from the seed of Avraham.
Beautiful, right?
Why? Because the verse says, "Shneimar ki dativ leman asher yitzaveh et banav." It says, why does Hashem know Abraham? Why does Hashem love Abraham? Because He will go and He's going to command His sons after him, la'asot tzedakah, and to do what? To go and do charity, to do righteousness. And we know that that Israel will only be established, the throne of Israel will only be established, and the true faith stands only on tzedakah, on righteousness, on charity. Shneimar bizdaka tikonani, ve'en Yisrael galin ela bizdaka, and Israel will only be redeemed through tzedakah. Shneimar Tzion b'mishpat tipateh v'shavea bizdaka. It's written that Tzion will be redeemed through judgment, and those who return to her through tzedakah, through charity. Halacha bet. Le'olam en adam me'ani min tzedakah. A person will never become poor from giving tzedakah. Ve'en davarav ve'lo ezek nigral b'shvil tzedakah shneimar v'haya ma'aseh tzedakah shalom. And it's not possible that any harm or damage will ever be caused to this person because of the tzedakah that he gave. Because it's written in the verse, v'haya ma'aseh tzedakah shalom, and the deed of charity is peace. Kol ha'merachem merachamin alav shneimar v'natan lecha chamim. So we know anyone who has pity on and is merciful on people, then Hashem and in Shamayim we're going to be merciful to him. Shneimar v'natan lirachamim v'yechamecha v'yirbecha. And Hashem, He shall grant you mercy and shower mercy upon you and multiply you. V'chol mishu achzari, but anyone who is cruel, ve'eno merachem, and it does not have pity for poor people, for people that come and they beg to him. You have to be careful about his yichus, if he's really a kosher person. Because achzariyut, cruelty, is only found in the idol worshippers. Because it's written about them, they are cruel and they will not show mercy. And the entire Jewish people and all those who attach themselves to them are considered like brothers. Like the verse says in Dvarim, Batem atem l'Hashem Elohechem, your children unto Hashem, your God. And if a brother does not have pity on his own brother, who will have pity on him? And on who can the poor Jewish person turn his eyes to? Can they put their eyes on the idol worshippers that hate them and chase them? And therefore, the Jews can only rely on their brothers to go and help them and take care of them. Anyone who closes his eyes from giving tzedakah. This is called a rebellious, meaning that he did not accept upon him the Ol Malchut Shamayim. Like it's written about an idol worshipper is also considered a Belial. And it's written there about the idol worshipper, rebellious man went out, and this person is called a Rasha. And it's written about this person is considered a Rasha, and here the verse explains right before Yatsu Anashim Bnei Belial. So this is the first case. If a person goes and closes his eyes wants to give tzedakah, he's considered like a Belial. He considers like he's kofer in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The second thing we said, it said, and a person who closes his eyes from giving tzedakah, it's written, And you said it has to be careful, lest the rebellious thought arise in your heart. And then v'nikra rasha, and it's also called the rasha, this person. Shneimar v'achamei reshaim achzarim. And it's written, the mercies of the wicked are cruel. So even when he wants to do something good, it's already cruel the way that he thinks. V'nikra choteh, and he's also called the choteh. Shneimar v'kara alecha el Hashem v'aya becha chet. Right, and the poor person will cry out to Hashem, and it will be a sin for you. V'akadosh baruch hu karov l'shavat aniyim, and Hakadosh baruch hu is very close to the cries of the poor. Shneimar shavat aniyim tishma. Like we see in the tefillah, Hakadosh baruch hu listens to the cries of the poor. לפיכך צריך להיזהר בצעקתם שהרי ברית קראתה להם שנאמר והיה כי יצעק אליי ושמעתי כי חנון אני. And therefore you have to be careful when they cry out. שהרי ברית קראתה להם. Hakadosh baruch hu made a special covenant with the poor. He said, "Vaya ki yitzak elai v'shamati ki chanunani." It will be when you will cry out to me, I will listen, for I am compassionate. And therefore, a person should never turn his eyes away from giving tzedakah. Halakha dalet. It's good. Hazak. Kol hanoten tzedakah le'ani. Anyone who gives charity to a poor person, b'sefer panim ra'ot, but with an unpleasant face, he's not happy. He's, oh, look at this guy again, he's asking me for money. Ufanav kivushot, and a buried face, meaning he's not let's say so excited to give tzedakah. Bakaka, afilu natan lo elef zehuvim, even though he gave him 1,000 gold coins, ibed zechuto ve'ifsida. So he lost his merit, and it's like he destroyed whatever merit he did. But the way to do it, he has to give it in a happy face and in happiness. And he has to go and commiserate with him about his troubles. It's not enough, oh, here's money. Oh, I'm sorry, what happened? B'ezrat Hashem, it will get better. B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to pray for you. And we need to go and appease him in his time of trouble. Not to make it, oh, okay, here's $1,000, leave me alone. Because it's written in the verse in the Yov, they are not weep for those who face difficult times. They not my soul feel sorrow for the destitute. And we see that this is part of the requirement. That when you see someone who is sad, someone who is in trouble, someone who is down, you have a mitzvah to rise them up. And that's what the Gemara says. It says the story brings that there was a chacham, a rav. He went in the market with Eliyahu Navi, and he said, "Is there anybody here from Olam Haba?" And they said, "Yes, there's one group from Olam Haba." And who was it? It was a person who was he was a clown. He said, "Wow, this guy is a clown. How does he have Olam Haba?" So they went to him, and he said that whenever he would see sad people, he would make it his business to make them happy. And from this, since he was Baal Chesed, and he cared about other people, this was enough for him to get Olam Haba. So we see that it's very important to be careful with the feelings and to give the proper attention and proper care for anyone who is in Sa'ah. And you should also speak to him words of tahanim, of sympathy and comfort. Right, because it's written in the Yov that we learn there that I would bring joy to the widow's heart. Right, so if you see a widow, and this include the people who are down, and so these people you have to go and comfort them and give them tahunim. If now the poor person asks from you a donation and you have nothing, then you should give him words of encouragement. And it's forbidden to go and scream at a poor person or to raise your voice at him. Or to give him a tuchacha. Oh, go to work, you always ask for money. Go collect somewhere else. We don't want you here. Because his heart is broken and crushed. And we know it's written in Tehillim that Hashem will not push away a broken and crushed heart. And therefore, it says also that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he goes and revives the spirit of the people that are low, and he revives the heart of the crushed. And wow, how horrible it is for someone to shame or embarrass a poor person. How horrible it is. Oilo. It's interesting. The Rambam repeats two times oilo. Rather, it said he should act like a ke'av ben barachamim ben bidvarim. So he should act like a father to him, both in mercies and both in words. Shneimar av anochi la'evyonim. It's written, I'm a father to the destitute. Right? And so we have to go and act in the best way possible with the poor and give them the proper respect and the proper love and care that the Torah requires from us. Halacha vav. Akofeh acherim liten tzedakah. Someone who forces other people to give tzedakah. U'maaseh otan secharo gadol mischar hanoten. So if a person is able to convince other people to give charity, his reward is greater mischar hanoten than the person who gave. Shneimar vayas maaseh tzedakah shalom. And it's written in the verse, and the deed of charity is peace. ועל גבי צדקה וחוזה בהם אומר, ומצדיקי הרבים ככוכבים. And it's written, those who bring merit to the many are like the stars. Right? אלו שגורמים לרבים להיות צדיקים נחשבים כמאירים כמו כוכבים. So they have a great reward, right? But the person who gives, so that's why it's written, גדול המעשה יותר מן העושה. Someone who makes other people do a mitzvah, someone who makes other people learn Torah, other people give tzedakah, is a greater category than the person who actually gave. And we learn from this verse, is considered mazdikei harabim kakochavim. They're considered like the stars of the like the stars. Halacha zayin. Shmonei ma'alot yesh b'tzedakah. There are 8 categories in tzedakah. Limazor limala mizo, one on top of the other. Ma'ala gedola she'enei ma'ala mimena. So the one that's the highest, where there's nothing above. Zeh machzik b'yad Yisrael shemach v'noten lo matana. So it's when a person's able to go and so like he goes, he gives him money, gives him a loan to save him from going to poverty. So either gives him a gift or gives him a loan, or he becomes a partner with him, or he finds him a job, so he can reinforce his hand to make him have money. So this is the best category. So I want to ask you want to do the best type of tzedakah. You find someone a job, you find that you give him a loan, you give him a gift, you do something, you become a partner with him, something that you can help him out. It's written there, you shall support him, the stranger, the resident, and he shall live among you. Right? This means that you have to support him before he falls and before until he will not need anything. So therefore you have to take care of him so he can give and live with you. Right? To live with you, meaning in the same in good conditions like you. Halacha het. Less than this, and then zakah la'aniyim v'lo yada limin natan v'lo yada ani mimi lakach. So he gives zakah to poor people, but the poor don't know to who he gave, and he doesn't, and the guy who gave does not know to who he gave. Sharei lo mitzvah lishma, sharei zol mitzvah lishma, because this is called a mitzvah lishma. Higon lishkat chashayim shayta b'mikdash. For example, there was special places in the Bet Hamikdash. So no one knew who gave what. They would give in secret there. And the Aniyim would go Bnei Tovim, that they came from good families, right? They were embarrassed. Let's say someone that comes from an important family, from a big rabbi's family or from a rich family, and he is poor. Let's say he lost his money or things like that. He's embarrassed, and therefore, even he was collecting without anyone knowing he's collecting. And close to this is someone who gives to the kupash tzedakah, like we said. And a person should not go give to a charity fund. This is very interesting, and I guess we have to ask our rabbis how we can apply this. But here it's written that a person should not give to the charity fund unless he knows that the person managing is faithful, wise, and capable of administering of administrating all the funds in the proper way. So the next one is okay, Yehoshua. So next one. הלכה ט' פחות מזה, now the lower level, yes? Because Chana ben Teradion, it's written, Shaya Gabay Tzedaka, he was a Gabay Tzedaka, and so he went and he collected from two different funds. He collected from a charity fund, and he also collected from a fund from Purim, and he made sure. And then when it became mixed together, he made sure to not shortchange anybody, so he compensated anybody if there was any mistakes in anything. So meaning that he was extra careful. For anything that he was doing. Okay, Tet. So less than this is if a person knows from who to who he's giving, but the poor man doesn't know from who he took. For example, the Gdolei Chachamim that were walking in secret, and they would go and bring money in the houses of the poor. So this is fitting to do. It's a very great ma'ala to do. If now the trustees of the charity, they don't act properly, so this is the best way to do. So less than this is what? Is that the poor person knows from who he took, but the donor, he doesn't know to whom he gave. For example, the Chachamim that were putting coins and they were putting bundles of coins in a sheet, and they will put it in the back of them. And the poor people will come and take the money, so they would know from who they take. But the guy who gave doesn't know from who he gave. So it's interesting. So we said on top that if the man who gives tzedakah knows to who he's giving, it's a higher level than if the poor man knows from who he took. Because I guess there's more embarrassment since the poor man knows he took from this guy. Halacha Yud Aleph. The lower level is to give to someone before he asked you. Unless your level is that you give tzedakah to someone after he asked you. And the lower level is to give someone less than what it was fitting to give, but with a happy face. And the lower level is to give it with a sadness. Oh, look, I have to give tzedakah now. Why will I do? Okay, I'm going to give it now. גדולי החכמים היו נותנים פירוטה לעני קודם כל תפילה ואחר כך מתפללים שנאמר עני בצדק יחזה פניך. The גדולי חכמים, the great sages, will give a pruta to a poor person before every tefillah, and after they would pray, because it's written in the verse, עני בצדק יחזה פניך. I will go with righteousness, with tzedakah. I will go and see, and I will see you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So when I come in front of you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I will have the merit because of my tzedakah to go and pray to you, Hashem. Halacha Yud, Halacha Tet Zayin. Anotel mizunot levanav v'limnotav hagdolim. A person who gives food, so he takes care of, he gives food and whatever they need for his kids. Levanav v'limnotav hagdolim that are gadol, right? So 6 and older. She'no chayav bizotehem kedei lelamed azarim Torah u'lehanig rabbanot b'derech yeshara v'lo yihi mevuzot. And the ones that he's not obligated to teach Torah, but this is after. Okay, so I guess when the Gdolim. Okay, so also he also has an obligation to give. So until the obligation stops to teach them Torah, that means that he has to pay for it, and that the girls will have enough support not to go in a bad direction. So this he has to give. And also, if he gives tzedakah for his mother and father, this is included in tzedakah. And it's an even greater tzedakah because the person who is closer to you has priority. And anyone who gives food, drinks, and food to the poor and to the orphans. Meaning that he gives food and drinks to the poor and to the orphans in his house, in his table. So this person, he can call out to Hashem and and therefore Hashem will go and give him a reward. If he's written in the verse, then you will call out and Hashem will answer.
One question. At the beginning, where it says "Hanotem mezonot levanav u'fnotav hagedolim, she'enu chaviahu mezonotam." Gedolim is what age are we talking about? Like age of bar mitzvah, or 9 years old, or 18?
No, because we say that until 6 he has to go and take care of them, but there's a Takanat Chachamim that even after 6 you still have to take care of them until Bar Mitzvah. But after Bar Mitzvah, even in the case, let's say in the case where he has no obligation whatsoever to take care of his children, in a halachic sense, then everything he gives that's extra is all going to be in tzedakah. So this is part of the tzedakah. And like we said, this tzedakah this starts at home. So you start with your kids, with your parents, with your family members, and then it goes on and on. הלכה י"ז, ציוו חכמים שיהיו בני ביתו של אדם עניים ויתומים במקום העבדים. And our sages commanded that the poor and the orphans should be members of a person's house rather than servants. It's better for him to employ them to be with him than for Abraham, Yitzchak, then the money of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov shall go for servants. It's better to have the aniyim bitomim in place. Because whoever has more and more servants, and he brings more sin and trouble to the world. Why? Because in general, when a person has servants, they usually steal, and since they steal, so he brings more sin to the world. Like it says in Masechet Avot, a person who increases the amount of avadim increases stealing, right? And a person who increases maid servants, he increases znut. And if there's poor people always in his house, always coming at every hour, he has more merit and mitzvot. A person should always construct himself and bear hardship rather than appeal to people at large. It should not become a burden to the community. And this is what the sages said. You should make your Shabbat a day of chol, a weekly day, and should not go and ask for charity. And even if he was a chacham and he was respected and he became poor, he has to go and work even the dirtiest job and not be dependent on the community. And it's better for a person to skin the hide of animal carcasses, right? Why does he say that? Because this is such a horrible work. It's such a horrible smell. And you should not go and rely on people. And you should not tell people, it's better for him to do this type of job than to tell people, look, I'm a chacham, I'm a kohen, please give me money. And this is what the sages said. Like they say, our sages commanded conducting oneself in such a manner, like we said, And we saw there was great Talmidei Chachamim. There were wood choppers. They were used to carry beams. There were water carriers for the gardens. Used to be, you work with the iron and make, and they never asked anything from the community. And even when people gave them, they returned it. הלכה י' ט' כל מי שאינו צריך ליטול ומרמה את העם. Anyone who does not need to take charity and he deceives the people ונוטל and he takes money אינו מת מן הזקנה עד שיסך לבריות. He will not die until he will really need charity. I remember there was a story Rabbi Mizrahi brought that there was a guy, he was collecting money and he had a daughter. No, he was telling everybody he had a daughter that was deaf. So he said, look, he said he had a 4-year-old daughter, he needed help. So he collected a lot of money. And he said that one day he got married and he had a child and his daughter was deaf.
Wow.
So it's incredible. We see that, it brings back a little bit what the Rambam here is saying, is that a person who's trying, he's going to trick everybody, he's going to collect money, he's going to lie to people, make up stories. One day, even if he does all the lies he wants, one day he will really need this tzedakah because he will really be poor. Hashem will punish him. Because he's included in the curse. Curse is the man who trusts in a man. Curse is the person who put his trust in a man. And anyone who needs to collect because they cannot live unless he collects, for example, an old person or a sick person, or bali surin, or someone who is has a lot of affliction and suffering, and he's a proud person and he doesn't want to go and collect. He's a murderer, and he's liable for his own life. And all his trouble, he only has chatot ve'ashamot. Because he thinks, I'm a tzaddik, look, I'm accepting all this, and he's suffering, but instead of his suffering being, repairing the sins or things like that, it's considered as nothing, right? It makes it worse for him. Why? Because he has a way out, and instead of taking it, he has too much gava to go and take it, and therefore it's considered hatod v'ashamat, like sin and guilt. And anyone who needs to take, but he went and he suffered, and he went and he went through the time, the difficulty, this difficulty, and he lived a life of suffering. It should not be a burden for the community. He will not die from old age until people will make money from him, meaning that he will be able to go and get tzedakah. And on him and on anyone that's similar, it said, blessed is the person who puts his trust in Hashem. So Baruch Hashem, we finished here the laws of Matanot Aniyim. Hashem, so we'll go and start a new chapter soon. Hashem.
And renew. Wow, the Rambam concludes.